Good morning, everyone. Myself, Deepika Sharma, Assistant Professor Botany from the Guru Nanak Girls College, Yamunanagar. In this video, we are going to study about the pulses, part 1 of the paper 2, that is the Economic Botany of class BSc 6th semester. In this part, we are going to study about the introduction of the legumes and the economic botany of gram. Let us start. The main topics we are going to cover in this video are the introduction of legumes or pulses. After that, we will study about the major pulses of India, then the origin and distribution of gram, botanical description of gram, a brief idea of the cultivation, that how we can cultivate the gram, and after that we'll study about some of the economic uses of gram, and lastly we will revise the topic by some short questions which are based on this topic. So let us start with the introduction of pulses. Do you know, students, what type of food crops provide you the much needed proteins and to our vegetarian population? Yes, of course, it is legumes or pulses. The legume seeds or pulses, they rank next to the cereal crops as a source of human food because they fulfills our requirement of much needed proteins. The high protein content of the pulses, it is due to the presence of nodules. What are nodules? These are some tumor-like outgrowths which are present on the roots of leguminous plants. These nodules, they have some nitrogen-fixing bacteria which fix the atmospheric nitrogen into the nitrate and nitrite, and these nitrite or nitrate then easily absorbed by the plant roots. Pulses, they also termed as a grain legumes, and they are the members of the family Leguminosae. Some of the common varieties of the pulses are dried peas, beans, lentils, and chickpea. Pulses, they are produced in Kharif season. They are called as a monsoon crops. Rabi season, they are called the winter crops, as well as Z season, that is the summer crop. Why the pulses? They are greatly used as a food and they are ranked next to the cereals. It is due to the following reasons. Pulses can be grown very easily and they mature in a very short period of time. They are highly nutritious. Not only they are a protein rich source, but they also provide us a good amount of carbohydrate, fats, vitamins and minerals. For example, pulses, they contain 5 times more riboflavin than most of the cereals, 10 times more thiamine as compared to cereals. But the fat content of the pulses is very low, that is 1 to 2% only. Among the pulses, soya bean. It occupies the highest position because it have a rich protein content, that is 42% among all the protein rich legumes. Because of the biological nitrogen fixation, that is the process of converting the atmospheric nitrogen into nitrogenous compound into the soil, the pulses, they also enhance the fertility of the soil. Being a low water content in the pulses, the transportation and storage is very easy. We can easily transport from one place to another. We can easily store as they are very dry. And lastly, they are a very good forage crop for cattle also. Some of the common major pulses of India are chickpea or Bengal gram, which is also called as a chana in Hindi, and the botanical name is Cicer erythnum. Secondly, pigeon pea, in commonly which is called as a arar or tuar dal. You have studied in a, that it is used in a sambar making. The botanical name is a Casinus cousin. The third, the peas, very common nowadays in winters. In Hindi, it is called the matar, and the botanical name is Pisum stivum. The soya bean, the botanical name is a Glycine max. Then there are black gram, the urd, the botanical name is a Physiolus mungo. Green gram, the moong, the botanical name is Physiolus aureus. And lastly, the lentil, masoor dal, the botanical name is Lens esculenta. Now we'll study about the composition of Indian pulses. From this chart, you know that chickpea, they are the most important pulse. Among all the pulses, the chickpea, it's a 36% share, followed by the pigeon pea. So both these pulses are very important. Why? Because they together cover more than 80% of the total land area under pulse cultivation. Chickpea and pigeon pea, then they are followed by black gram and green gram, also very important pulses. And after that, lentil and peas, they have a share of 4% or 5%. So among these, the chickpea, it is the most important pulse crop. Let us start with the economic botany of the gram. In English, we call it as a chickpea. The botanical name is Cicer erythnum. This name derived from the Roman word Cicer. It is due to the resemblance of the seed to the head of a ram, that is the male sheep, because the seed it is resembled to the head of the male sheep. In the same way, the word erythnum also derived its name from the Aries, which also means ram, that is the male sheep head. In Hindi, we used to call it chana or Bengal gram in English, chickpea one. The family gram belongs to a leguminaceae family. Chickpea, also called as a gram or chana, the most important pulse crop, which is followed by pigeon pea. As I already told you that both these crops, that is gram and pigeon pea, they are contributing the 50% share under the pulse cultivation. Now we'll study about the origin of the gram. Oldest pulse crop, that is gram, it is known to even the ancient Egyptian and Greeks also. It was cultivated in Asia and Europe, but the origin center of the gram, it is believed to be Southwest Asia. Although the wild forms have never been found there, but still it is believed that it is found in the prehistoric sites of East Mediterranean area also, that is the countries which are situated along the Mediterranean Sea. And it is believed that gram was introduced into our country from West Asia. So the origin point of the gram is Southwest Asia. It is mostly produced and consumed in the developing country from Southeast Asia to India and in the Middle East and also the Mediterranean country. So the origin of the gram is Southwest Asia. After this, we'll study the distribution of gram in India. India is the largest producer of gram. Why? Because it It contributes about 8.8 million tons of the world's total production of gram. It is followed by, at the second number, Australia and the Pakistan. But there are many chick producing countries like Turkey, Myanmar, Iran, Ethiopia, Canada, US, and Tanzania. In India, the main states where we used to grow the gram, the upper basin of Ganga, then East Punjab, UP, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, and Andhra Pradesh. Gram crop, like wheat and linseed, it is grown as a rabi crop, that is the winter crop, which are usually sown in the month of October or mid-November up to after the monsoon rains are over. So gram is a rabi crop, that is the winter. There are two varieties of gram, Kabuli chickpea and the Desi chickpea. Kabuli chickpea are somewhat larger in size, white to creamish in color. You can see in the background picture, they have a thin seed coat, but they have a slow maturation. So they take a lot of time to get mature. But on the other hand, Desi chickpea, they are smaller in size. Immature Desi chickpea are greenish, but on maturity they become light brown to dark brown in color. They have a thick seed coat and have an early maturation period, that is, they mature quickly. So these are the two varieties of the gram. Now we will study about the botanical description of the gram. First we will take the plant body. The plant body of the gram is bushy and much branched. And due to the presence of these branches, which start from the base, the whole plant have a bushy appearance. It is an annual crop grown in one season, and it's about 25 to 50 centimeter in height. But the Kabuli chana, as compared to Desi chana, it is generally taller and erect crop. Now, what type of leaves they are present in the Cicer erythnum? These are compound leaves, that is the imparipinnate, odd number of leaves. They have a 9 to 15 pairs of leaflet with the serrate margins, that is the dissected margins, and glandular hairs are present all over the surface, which secrete oxalic acid and malic acid. And this oxalic acid and malic acid, it gives the sour taste to the leaves and the fruits. Means the secretions, they are rich in these organic acids and they impart a sour taste. The flower, the main characteristic feature of the leguminous plants is the papilionaceous flower. So solitary, and it varies from the white to pink in color. This is a picture of papilionaceous flower of Cicer erythnum. It's composed of 5 petals, the large slender petal followed by 2 lateral wings and the fused 2 keel petals, and they are surrounded by a fused hairy sepals which form a single calyx tube. And after that they have an androecium, that is the male sex organ, with the arrangement of 9 plus 1, 9 stamens they are joined and one is separate. So this is called the diadelphous condition of androecium. So this type of flower, the papilionaceous flower, it is the characteristic feature of the Cicer erythnum or the whole leguminous plant. Now we'll study about the pod. It's a very important part. The fruits of legume plants in the Leguminaceae family, they are called the pod. And in case of gram, they are very small and somewhat inflated. Usually they have 2 seeds. And here inside this pod, you can see the 2 seeds, the angular with a prominent beak and they have a small hilum at the interior end. They somewhat have a wrinkled or a smooth or rough seed coat, and the color it vary from white to cream. Like in Kabuli chana, they have whitish to cream color, but in desi chickpea, they are yellow to dark brown color. So the pod, it releases their seeds by splitting along this vertical suture. It's a dry, dehiscent fruit, the main important edible part of this crop. Now we'll study about the climatic conditions which are required for the growth of the gram. I already told you it is a rabi crop, that is the winter crop, a very well adapted to the arid and semi-arid regions. Why? Because it requires low to moderate rainfall. The soil conditions which are required are sandy soil, sandy loam to clay loam to grow this crop. But because this crop it requires to low to moderate temperature and mild cold season, but it doesn't mean that it can tolerate a frost. In a winter season, a long forest spell is injurious for this growth of this crop because continuous frost in the winter season, it results in the failure of the fruits to develop. The fruits, they are not able to develop into the seeds inside the pod. So it cannot tolerate frost. This crop, being a rabi crop, it can grow very well in a cool and a dry climate. So these are the climatic conditions for the growth of Sisal item, that is the gram. Now the cultivation practices. For cultivation practices, here I am show you. It's a brief idea about the cultivation. And what are those for? The one number one is on the land preparation. Number two is a sowing. Three, what type of irrigation and what type of manures and fertilizers they are required. And fourth, that is the cutting of crop, that is the harvesting. So let us start with land preparation. The land preparation of the gram, it does not require much plowing or manuring because it is a rain-fed crop just grown after a monsoon season is over. So 1 to 2 plowings are enough. But still, in irrigated areas, the deep plowing at least is required, and the reason for it is to conserve the moisture in the soil. It requires a rough seed bed, means the fine and very compact seed bed is not required. Why? Just to have a proper aerations for the seed growth. So it requires a rough seed bed, means seed bed is kept unpulverized. In a moisture deficient condition, if the soil have not much moisture inside it, then it is needed to be use the roller before sowing just to conserve the little bit moisture in the soil. So this crop just require a 1 or 2 plowings. This means that crop does not require much care. The sowing. The sowing, being a rabi crop, the complete sowing is in the month of October in northern India. But in irrigated areas where it depends upon the irrigation, we can sow it even up to the mid-November also. There are two methods of the sowing. Number one is a broadcasting and number two is a seed drill. Broadcasting method is by scattering the seeds over the surface of soil. It is usually done by hands. And the drilling method of the sowing, it is somewhat mechanized by using some seed drilling machines. Even the traditional We use a seed drill which consists of a hopper, and inside we fill the seeds above a series of tubes, and then we regularly sow the seeds in a regular manner. So there are two methods, either by scattering the seeds over the surface, that is the broadcasting, or by using the seed drill machines. But for the good growth per hectare, how much seed we are required? It is about 70 to 100 kg per hectare seed rate. It is required for the good growth of the crop. Manures and fertilizers, they are needed to be applied before sowing the seeds. And application of the manures and fertilizers, it depends upon the soil fertility condition, because already it is a enhance the soil fertility, being a involved in a biological nitrogen fixation. But in case of poor soil condition, a well rotten farmyard manure and organic fertilizers are needed, like nitrogen and phosphorus, if the soil is not good or not much fertile. So here we needed some fertilizers. This crop cultivated as a rain fed crop after just Kharif season, when the monsoon is over, when we grow this crop, so it requires a light irrigation. But not only it is as a rain fed crop, that is not only depends upon the rainfall, but it also give a good yield in a irrigated condition. But it requires a very light irrigation and does not tolerate waterlogging conditions. Stagnant water it cannot tolerate. So we should keep in mind that this crop require a good drainage facility. After this, the last cultivation practice is a harvesting. I already told you the crops, they mature very fast. So this crop also mature in 3 months, and it gets ready for harvest after the leaves they turn reddish brown or they become dry and start shedding from the plant. And what is the method of harvesting? It just to cut the crop close to the ground by using sickle, or sometime it should be plucked with the hands also. Then there is need to dry the crop bundles under the sun for a week, and then there is a process of threshing, that is the separation of pods from the crop plant, either by beating with the sticks or can be threshed under the bullock's feet in villages also. Now the nutritional composition of gram seeds. A very much nutritious protein content. Already told you that pulses are very famous for their protein content. So 17.1% protein is present in gram. Low in fat. So here in gram 5.3% fats are present. Carbohydrate, a good amount of carbohydrate also, 61.2%. And the fibers, that is the 3.9%. Even some minerals or vitamins, I already told you, they are also present in the gram seed. Now, what are the economic uses of the chickpea? It's a nutritious pulse crop in India. I already, in the last slide, I've already told you the nutritional composition. So it's a very nutritious pulse because it not only gives the protein, but a good source of carbohydrate, fats, vitamins, and minerals. So it is a very nutritious pulse. The seeds, they can be eaten raw, even roasted, boiled, and in the form of a split dal. And that split dal is called the chana dal, mainly formed by splitting the desi chickpea. Tender leaves, they are used as a leafy vegetables. And the flour of the chickpea is called the besan. It is a major ingredient of sweets which is prepared by ghee and sugar. Gram flour, that is the besan, it is also substituted for wheat flour, especially in case of a diabetic patients. So it is good for the diabetic patients which have a high sugar level. Then the dry leaves and the stem of this crop, after threshing, that the remaining part, when the pod, we separate the pod, whatever the remaining part of the crop, it is used as a cattle feed also. And we can use the seeds in a germinated condition, which are called as sprouts. They are used to prevent scurvy, that is the bleeding of gums. And the glandular hair secretion, I already told you at that time of botanical description that they have some glandular hair all over the surface of the leaves or the stem, and they secrete a malic acid and oxalic acid. So 94% malic acid with a 6% of oxalic acid, that is called the acrid juice, which is used to prevent some intestinal disorder. So it is the medicinal value of the chickpea. Now is the topics, that is the introduction of the legumes and the economic botany by practice these short questions. Question number 1. Name the family to which legumes belong. Second, why the pulses are known as a popular source of food. The third, where did gram originated in the world? Fourth, which is the topmost pulse crop of India? Fifth, write the botanical name of the chickpea. Then, sixth, which states of the India contribute maximum in pulse production? Seventh, name the two varieties of the gram. 8. What type of leaves are present in gram plant? And the ninth question is, name two organic acids which impart sour taste to the leaves and the fruits of gram. And lastly, what are the economic uses of gram? So these are some of the short questions that you have to practice on the basis of the topic introduction of legumes and the economic botany of gram. Thank you very much.